it's the love story that defies gender. Barbara Hamlin was convinced that her husband John was having an affair when she discovered a miniskirt, hot pants and stilettos in the back of the cupboard.
However, when she confronted him, to her shock, John confessed that the items were in fact for him.
But far from feeling angry, Barbara was overcome with relief. And now, with John having transitioned to Jane, the couple join us today. And good morning.
Morning.
And it's really lovely to have you both here on the sofa this morning. So you met originally, you're both teachers, you met at work and you married in 1987. And 8 years into the marriage, Barbara, you started to have suspicions a little bit, didn't you?
Yes, I had one or two suspicions, but nothing really that alerted me to what was going to lie ahead.
What were your suspicions then? What were you suspicious of?
Well, I found some hair wrapped around the vacuum cleaner brush, and Jane was very interested in a brooch that had been in my collection for a number of times, and I wanted to give it to a charity shop, and she said, "No, don't do that.
Don't give it away."
It's rather nice.
And so when did you find these clothes and what was your first thoughts?
We were packing. I was packing to go for a holiday. Jane was at the cricket, of course. So I was packing, ironing, getting things out of the wardrobe, and I was looking for trainers and things at the back and found a pair of high-heeled shoes and thought, oh, my goodness, what is this? And dug a bit further and found a bag of clothes that were plainly not mine. There were 2 items of frilly underwear, some ladies' shorts and a skirt, and I put them all back quickly and thrust them back in the wardrobe and then went back and had another look. I couldn't really believe what I was seeing.
And you thought this was because there was an affair taking place?
Because there were 2 of everything, so I thought there was an affair going on and I knew nothing about it and someone had been coming to the house. So I was pretty nervous, really.
Yeah,
and Jane, from your side of things, right from being very small, that you were being led in this direction.
That's right, yes. I mean, when I was 6, I had this feeling and spoke to my mother about it, and she said, "Don't be stupid, you know, you can't be a girl."
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of age when, having been a primary school teacher and sort of done a lot about child development, that's about the age when we realise that we're what we are. And you know, we won't wake up tomorrow and be something different. And I suppose it's that realisation that I'm the wrong person.
So when you got married, obviously you didn't feel that you could discuss this?
No, I mean, trans people have 2 great fears. Fear of rejection by those they love, their family and friends, and fear of ridicule and humiliation by other people.
Yeah.
And so that's why trans people hide. And, you know, it's only when you get a bit of encouragement that you have the courage to come out. Well, and when you do, life is suddenly in colour instead of black and white.
Yeah,
absolutely,
as it should be, that's why. So you went on this trip, you were going to Canada at the time, and it was at that moment when you were away one day, you were lying there on the bed and you just brought it up and said, right, what is going on? What are these clothes? What's the reason? When you got the answer, it wasn't quite what you were expecting, was it?
No.
So how did you feel?
A feeling of relief, to be truthful, because I did know about cross-dressing and transgender very vaguely, and this wasn't as scary as losing one's relationship in a marriage.
Yeah, the person you love.
So
exactly.
You actually had a lovely day. You went out shopping in Canada and continued with the holiday. And I suppose, really, when you come back, that's when the reality strikes. OK, how do we deal? You're happy to deal with it, but how do we deal with this in general?
Yes.
And so how did you do that? Because you got to tell somebody.
Yes, indeed. We have some very good friends, and we knew we could rely on them to keep the secret with us, because at that point it had to be a bit of a secret, really. We were both in full-time
I was head teacher of
employment.
a small village primary school.
Right,
Yeah.
OK.
So there was no way we could come out or...
Was all of this, when this was happening and you knew that the ball had started to roll, was this the shining light moment that you've been waiting for?
Yes, but better things were to come, fortunately, although I didn't realise that at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a huge sense of relief that... because if you can't talk to someone about it, for some people, well, you have nervous breakdowns. You're mad. And so it's so important for trans people to have someone they can trust to talk to. And I didn't have anyone until then, so...
But, of course, you can't live that secret once this ball has started rolling. Like you said, this is your truth. This is your life you're meant to live. And actually, it becomes easier because it's not a choice. It just has to be like this.
That's right, yes. And one of the things that annoys me is when people think that being trans is a lifestyle choice. There is no choice. It's how I was born, it's who we are. And the only choice is whether to stay hiding and risk all the torments that brings, or talk to people and risk the other things I was talking about just now.
Well, you decided that, as you've just hinted at there, that wasn't enough, that it was the full trans journey that you had to go on.
But I didn't think it would be possible. I didn't think I would pass.
Yeah.
I thought people would point at me in the street and say, or anything like that. I didn't think it was possible. But as time goes on, when you realise, why am I hiding?
Yeah.
Why am I hiding?
Yeah. And knowing that this was the start of something much bigger, you did have anxiety at that point?
I was anxious about the operation because I'd watched that on television and it's pretty scary. But then I think I would be frightened of any operation, really. But Jane wasn't ill, she was just having an operation, and as soon as it was over, she was absolutely fine and her recovery was very quick.
And a lot of people will be going, it's very brave of you, you're living your truth, you've done it. There'll be lots of people who still have that secret that they can't take those steps that you've done, incredibly brave and focusing on you. But actually, for you, Barbara's the one who's been incredibly brave and incredibly strong throughout all of this.
That's right, because I'm doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and you had no choice, like you say.
I had no choice. And when I did come out to the world, it was like a millstone or a huge weight, which I hadn't realised I'd been carrying around. I had this huge weight that I'd been carrying around of guilt and fear and frustration. And suddenly it was gone. I was like on cloud 9.
Yeah.
So where are you both now in your heads? I mean, are you as happy as you could possibly be?
Who's going to answer? Yes, I think so. Yes, we're so lucky. We have good friends, superb support relationships in our village, wherever we go. People do stare a bit, but then they're bound to.
If they stare too badly, she says, "This is Jane. Would you like an introduction?"
Good for you. I mean, you're a great example how, these things can change within a marriage, but if the love is strong, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we know too many people where it hasn't worked out as well as it has done for us. And I mean, one of the reasons we're talking to you today is because we want to try and reassure anyone who's in a similar position that, life gets better.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely to meet you both. Thank you for coming in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you.